Next, Stephen Stone, Chief Executive of Crest, Nicholson. Stephen, I think one of the things you might touch on is One Brighton deliverable by mainstream house building industry.
Yeah, I think that's what I've been asked to talk about. But I think before then, I'd just like you to visualise the typical house builder boardroom, because the credit crunch has actually given us a fantastic opportunity. And I'm not going to talk about mortgage availability. I'm going to talk about the real opportunity for us house builders. First of all, set the scene in the typical house builder. The chauffeur's gone, and the stretch 500 SL Merc has also had to go, and the chief has to use the train. Now that is painful, but that's the first thing. And the Sunseeker is up for sale. It's sitting in Marbella, and there's no buyers at the moment. So that's the first thing. But out of the credit crunch comes opportunities, because life's been hell over the last 3 or 4 years. This guy keeps wanting better design. Local authorities want community infrastructure levies, they want additional libraries, they want roads, transport, you name it, local authorities want it. Better design, and of course then the sustainability agenda came along. And God, that made things really difficult, because for mere house builders, that's a tough agenda. So what can we do with a credit crunch? It's great because we can't do any of that. So we're going to go back to local authorities now. We're going to say the typical boxes are where we need to get the agenda back to, because all these guys are wrong and we can't afford it, and housing delivery is going to slip, and the government have got a massive problem. And house builders, we're going to solve that for you by building our boxes again. And I know Richard's going to appreciate that. He's not going to complain. So it's a real opportunity. And of course, climate change, well, the sad thing about climate change is, whilst we might try and postpone the agenda, sadly, the planet can't accept that change. So there's the little perspective for a house builder. So a lot of sympathy, a lot of ooze there, but great time to look ahead. Now, One Brighton. What I'm going to do here is, how did we get involved in One Brighton? Well, it was actually 4 or 5 years ago now. I think I was on a trip to Europe looking at sustainable communities and community infrastructure. And one of these fools from Bioregional came up to me and said, here, we've got this scheme that we've been talking to the local authority about in Brighton, near the station, highly sustainable, but they actually want to deliver a zero carbon community or building. And you know, here we are. I think we're smoking something in a bar in Amsterdam, but so I thought they were off their head, but got back, looked at the site and thought it's actually not a bad opportunity to make some money, and perhaps these guys have got some ideas. Now that was the easy bit, and of course 4 or 5 years later it's under construction and it's selling well, and there are some little stories that I'd perhaps like to share with you, because I painted the scene of the house builder. Life's difficult, you know, we're challenged, we need to think more. And working with Bioregional, I've just written 3 words really. Challenge, they challenge you, they push you, and they show you no mercy. They really don't want to cut corners. And that's really difficult. But what it's done for my business is to position us, because we see it as an opportunity to make shareholder value in the future. So it's been a great partnership, and we have learned masses from it, and look forward to a strong future. Now, on the site, I mean, some of the fascination on One Brighton that didn't come out from the presentation is the way that the actual site workers have embraced the whole agenda. Again, it's the no mercy that those people at Bioregional show you, because they've even made the canteen serve local food, and surprisingly the best dish of the day is fish. Now can you imagine house builders or the construction guys eating fish? But I can tell you that's the most popular lunchtime food. And they're also really interested in the air tightness, the clay blocks, and the whole way the social infrastructure works. And to get site workers enthusiastic is a real challenge. So that's great. And of course, One Planet Products, I'll just mention that as well. We joined that and was one of the initial team, and I know our buying and sustainability team actually enjoy working with a group of like-minded people. And in a credit crunch, it's great for me because I can cut my overhead and use the One Planet product guys. So that's useful. But there's a lot of good information there. When you, as a company, set your own sustainability agenda, it's good to get research done with you. Now, One Brighton. Well, that's a scheme that is deliverable by the bulk of volume house builders. Just want to talk about level 6, maybe, of the code, which we're hurtling towards. I actually think it's crackers, and I don't think that we're going to hit that agenda at all, nor should we. And it's interesting, every seminar that I go to and hear the consultants speak on the level 6 agenda, it's always focused on technology. You never hear anything about the environment, lifestyle, and actually placemaking. And we at Crest, and I know the team at Bioregional share it, sustainability is about more than just the technology. It is about thinking beyond the red line. And I think that's the big investment for Crest that we have learned. We're not energy providers as house builders, nor should we be. We know nothing about energy, being energy providers, but we're being forced down into that line. And I've just got this vision that, and I heard a speaker at Thames Gateway last week that was just setting out this scenario that there are hundreds of mini CHP plants, wood-burning CHP plants. And it's taken us 30, 40 years to become smoke-free in our towns and cities. And here we are potentially having a lot of these mini CHP plants. So I think we're big advocates of CHP, but we think we need to look at it on a bigger agenda, a county agenda, and get community buy-in. So for Crest, it's level 4 is enough, and it's also looking beyond that at placemaking and good design. I hate the thought as an architect that we're knocking down buildings now that are only 30, 40 years old. There is nothing less sustainable than poor design, and that's the cheapest thing of all. So I think our experience on One Brighton is it's been a great relationship. We've been pushed, pulled, and they do show us no mercy. But as a result of that, we're actually setting our agenda out for making shareholder value and profits for future life of Crest and for future generations. So thank you.